The cemetery was quiet that morning, the kind of silence that carries weight. The kind of silence that reminds you how much life has taken away. A thin fog clung to the ground as Isabella Cole stepped out of her sleek black car, her designer heels crunching softly on the gravel path. She wasn't here as the billionaire CEO everyone knew. She was just a grieving mother, a mother who came every week to see the one place she felt her son's presence still lingered. Her son, Daniel, had been only 15 when a sudden illness took him away. In all her wealth, in all her power, Isabella couldn't buy a single breath more for him. That thought haunted her, slicing through her every day like glass. She brought white roses, his favorite, and knelt down at his grave, her perfectly polished hands trembling as she laid them gently against the cold stone. But then she noticed something unusual. Just a few rows away, a young black woman knelt at another grave, tears streaming down her face as she held a little boy close. The child couldn't have been more than 6, his small hands clutching at her dress. They looked fragile, broken, and out of place in a world that kept moving forward without mercy. Isabella's eyes lingered longer than she meant to. She knew grief, but there was something about the way the woman cried, silent, desperate, like the world had crushed her soul and left her with nothing but the need to survive. Later that evening, when Isabella stopped at a small diner on her way home, something she rarely did, her heart skipped a beat. There, carrying a tray of greasy plates with tired eyes and forced smiles, was the same woman she'd seen at the graveyard. The little boy sat in the corner booth, coloring on the back of a menu. Their eyes met for a fleeting moment. Isabella almost looked away, but something inside her told her not to. When the waitress came by, Isabella spoke softly. "I saw you earlier today at the cemetery." The woman froze. For a moment, her eyes widened, almost in shame, before she forced a smile. "That was my husband's grave," she whispered. "He was a soldier. Didn't make it back home last year." She swallowed hard, her hands tightening around the coffee pot. "And now, it's just me and my son." Isabella felt a lump rise in her throat. The boy in the booth had Daniel's eyes. The same innocence. The same way he hunched over when he was focused. She excused herself from her table, walked over, and gently spoke to him. He told her his name was Elijah. His voice was soft, shy, but he smiled when he spoke about how much he loved drawing superheroes. The billionaire sat there, her heart breaking and mending all at once. She had everything money could buy, but she didn't have Daniel. This young boy had nothing, yet he had a light in him that pulled her back to the memory of her son. As days passed, Isabella found herself returning to that diner, not for the food but for them, for Elijah, for his mother, whose name she learned was Maya. She learned how Maya worked double shifts, barely making rent, how she sometimes skipped meals so Elijah could eat, how Elijah wore shoes a size too small because she couldn't afford new ones. One night, when the diner was nearly empty, Isabella stayed until closing. She watched Maya wipe down tables with exhaustion etched across her face. Then, quietly, Isabella spoke. "Maya, I need to tell you something. I lost my son last year. He was just 15. Every time I see Elijah, I see him. And I can't help but feel that maybe I was meant to meet you both." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She dropped the rag and sat across from her, whispering, "I've been praying for help. I've been praying for someone to see us. To see me." The billionaire reached across the table, her diamond ring catching the light, but her hand trembled as it held Maya's. "Then maybe your prayers brought me here." The weeks that followed changed everything. Isabella quietly paid off Maya's rent. She bought Elijah new clothes, new shoes, even new art supplies so he could keep drawing. But she didn't stop there. She offered Maya a position. Not as a waitress, but as an assistant in her company, with pay that could finally give her and Elijah the life they deserved. At first, Maya resisted. She felt it was too much, that she hadn't earned it. But Isabella looked her straight in the eyes and said, "This isn't charity. This is my way of keeping my son's spirit alive. Daniel would have wanted me to do this." A month later, Elijah stood beside Isabella at a charity gala, showing off his drawings in front of hundreds of guests. His smile lit up the entire room. Isabella introduced him proudly, not as a boy she had helped, but as the boy who had given her hope again. When the night ended, Maya hugged Isabella tightly, whispering through tears, "You didn't just save us. You saved yourself, too." Isabella looked out into the night sky, her heart lighter than it had been in years. She had lost her son, yes, but in some strange, miraculous way, she had gained a family she never expected. And every week, when she visited her son's grave, she no longer came alone. Maya and Elijah came with her. Elijah would place a single sunflower at Daniel's stone, saying softly, "Thank you for letting me share your mom." It wasn't the life Isabella had planned, but it was the life that gave her back her purpose. Love had found her again, in the most unexpected place. And maybe, just maybe, Daniel had something to do with it. So remember, sometimes kindness doesn't just change one life. Sometimes it saves two. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more stories of love, loss, and the beauty of unexpected kindness.